What's up, fam? Hope everyone is well. Welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a trade recap on two of the trades that I took this morning inside of live trading with Tukhi Trading. I did my pre-market analysis per usual, did live trading with the boys. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the two trades that I took. Specifically, I want to focus on this SPY put that went absolutely crazy. Contracts were a little under 400% total from when they maxed out. And the contracts that I bought went from $80 to all the way above $380. So trade was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and break things down real quick so you guys can actually understand why I took the trades, how I was able to manage them, and let's go ahead and let's hop right into it. So like I said, I did take two trades today. The first trade that I actually took ended up being a small loss on Tesla. Like I said, I was live trading with the community this morning, so I was sharing all of my thoughts, analysis, and my trades. Let's see. So the setup is actually going to be right here. It was a 1 minute/5 minute demand zone that I had charted out. My entry area was literally right here. We were holding this demand zone and respecting it extremely well. We initially got this push up from this demand zone, making my trade obviously be in profits for a small period of time. We then tapped into this bearish fair value gap, which I did have charted out. And then pretty much from there, we just dumped. I didn't end up taking any type of profits or trims on this trade. I was honestly expecting it to go a bit higher, but it is what it is. I had my stop loss in place, which was simply just a break and close outside of this demand zone. So once we got that break and that close, I obviously exited and took a small loss, about 10% loss on those option contracts. So I was risking very little on that trade. That was also another reason why I liked it, due to the fact that my risk was very minimal. I just wanted to go over that loss just so I can be transparent with you guys, explain every single trade, because as a trader, especially a profitable trader, losses are bound to happen. It really just comes down to how you can manage those losses. Right, so let's go ahead and let's switch over to SPY and focus on the trade of the day. Keep in mind, I did mention that I alerted all of my analysis and this exact trade and move inside of the live trading community. So let's go ahead and go over it. So inside of pre-market analysis, which you guys obviously know, I do each and every single morning pretty much. I was marking out my zones, and we had this 1/5 minute supply zone that we had marked out. I like this supply zone. Obviously, I gave you guys my thoughts and input on it, and I showed you guys where the zone was, which exactly was right here. Now, market open, SPY had some sideways trading activity, but you can see the pretty much the second, the minute, the cent that we tapped into that 1 minute supply zone, we pretty much just dumped from there. And then sellers were pretty much just pushing price down significantly from that area. High supply, high selling area. Obviously, you guys know what's going to happen from there. So you can see once price tapped into that 1 minute supply zone, price just continued down lower. Now, I didn't catch the entry up here because when price tapped into this supply zone, I was in those Tesla calls, right? So I missed out on this entry, but I saw how strong sellers were, and I saw that we tapped into the supply zone, which obviously I was mentioning inside of pre-market analysis. I saw we tapped into that, and I obviously knew sellers were in control, especially from this push down. Break of structure we had as well. Now, by the time I took that small loss on the Tesla calls, I was looking for another possible setup that I could take, and I saw that sellers were still very strong on SPY. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to trade with that selling momentum, trade with the excessive selling pressure that was, being inputted within the market, and that's exactly what I did. I utilized this bearish fair value gap right here as my entry area, and I simply just put my stop loss a bit above this bearish fair value gap. So obviously my risk was minimized on that trade as well. And then my take profit area was actually this low of pre-market that we had. So it was pretty much just the pre-market low that I had marked out my take profit, but this wasn't when I completely exited my position. You can obviously see when I entered, price continuously and beautifully moved to the downside, obviously giving me beautiful profits coming in. But once we hit this final take profit, you can see right here, I alerted. I said 40% trim right here, runners left. You can see this is when the trade was moving in my direction. So this is when I first had 40% on these option contracts, okay? Keep that in mind because these option contracts are about to explode. So this is at 7:12, at 7:23, I alerted about 10 minutes later. You can see the full profit target got hit, which is going to be all the way down here. Keep in mind, I entered at about 505. Price is now trading at around 503. So we had about a $2 push down. So at this point, option contracts are probably about 60-70%. Now, at about 7:55, 20 minutes later, keep in mind, these are only my runner contracts, so I only have like 2-3 contracts left at this point, but still, that's a good amount of position sizing, right? Especially if those contracts are moving. And then 7:55, price just continued to absolutely rip beautifully to the downside, and we just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and literally I caught the whole entire move pretty much. Other than this supply zone move, obviously if I were to enter up here, then I really would have caught the whole entire move, but still we traded with the selling pressure, we traded with the selling momentum, and we pretty much traded where there was high amounts of supply on the charts. That's why I preach that so much. That's why I preach trading where supply or demand is highest on the charts. And then you can obviously see price just continues lower, lower, lower. We have points in price where it has a little move up, but you can see that's just simple patterns being created. You can see we have a slight move up right here, and then a move down, slight move up right here, and then a move down, slight move up right here, and then a move down, move up right here, and then move down. So that's what I was seeing, right? That's what I was continuously seeing. We were just causing a pattern within price. And obviously, when you continue to see stuff like that, that should just give you more signs, more confirmations as you are in your trade. And obviously, I still had my stop loss in place. What I was doing for this trade, and you guys probably have seen me talk about this, is as price is continuously moving in my direction, I'm also moving my stop loss as well. So I can make sure that I'm still locking in my profits, but I'm still also giving my trade some room to kind of do its thing, just in case my trade does want to continue moving further in my direction to obviously make me more profits. And then going back to the Discord, this went absolutely insane. Then 170%, 270%, and then 320%. And then I don't think I sent the final picture, but I ended up exiting completely at around 386% on those option contracts. Like I said, I had bought them at around $80 and they maxed out at above $380. So over $300 profit on only one option contract, right? So, you don't need a shit ton of money to buy these option contracts to trade. As long as you have a good couple $100, you know what you're doing, you're managing your risk correctly, you can really make things happen. And you can obviously see right here, I'm just alerting my trade as price continues to move in its direction. You can see people are also making some profits as well. Unreal, I'd be almost up 400% if I held for a little bit. They probably caught 1 to 200% just from how volatile today was. And then you can see we just continuously had lower lows being created within the market. Lower low, lower low, lower low. I showed you guys the pattern earlier. So that was really that. And that was the beautiful move and the beautiful trade that I caught today. Like I said, we went 1 for 1, took the small Tesla loss, and then ended up taking this huge, beautiful Tesla, or not Tesla, SPY put, that obviously went well over 350% and was an absolute banger. Main reason we caught this trade and was able to spot this trade was obviously trading with supply and demand. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope you guys were able to find value from this trade recap. This was honestly one of my more favorite trades that I've caught in a minute. So I look forward to catching a lot more bangers, and I look forward to catching bangers with you guys as well each and every single morning. I'll see you guys very soon. Much love.